Hello, I just want to do a quick video about the gaming performance of the Surface Book 3. This version here is the 15-inch with the GTX 1660 Ti Max Q. So this is kind of a weird laptop for gaming because in a way it's quite good at playing games, but it's not really designed as a gaming laptop. I mean, definitely for the price you could do a lot better just by buying a normal gaming laptop, but if you really want a tablet and you still want to play some games, this is actually pretty much your only option right now for something which is still quite a good gaming machine. And it does have a few weird gaming oriented features. For example, one is the fact that it supports Xbox One controllers out of the box without any kind of dongle. Just to start off, I really only have one game on here that I want to show, which is Forza Horizon 4. One of the main problems with the Surface Book 3 is the ludicrous cost of upgrade storage. So most people aren't going to bother to buy the extra storage, and to be honest, I can't really recommend it at the prices that Microsoft are charging. So you're going to end up running most of your games realistically off some kind of external drive. So if you really want to play games, I would suggest buying an external SSD or something like that. For the time being, I have all my games running off an SD card. So I'm just going to show you, just to start off, the load time on Forza Horizon 4, because it's, as you can imagine, off an SD card, it's not all that great. So this is going to take a while. One thing to mention, which is quite interesting, and we'll check this after playing some Forza Horizon, is the fact that the thermals on the GPU are actually pretty good, because you have the CPU in the tablet portion and you have the GPU in the base. So the GPU has its own integrated thermal solution, its own heatsink and fan, so it does run pretty cool. One of the complaints I have with the GPU performance is that it's perhaps a little bit limited by the power supply. So this has, I believe it's around 110 watt power supply. So I don't think the GPU can really stretch its legs as much as would be the case if it had a more powerful power supply. So just starting off the game here, load times are pretty bad with the SD card. So just worth mentioning, this is running Forza Horizon 4 at ultra settings at 1920 by 1200. It's got VSync on, so we're not getting more than 60 FPS, but I found this to be able to run Forza Horizon 4 with no problem at 60 FPS at ultra settings at this resolution. It can get quite loud. With Forza Horizon it's alright. I tried Dirt Rally 2.0 on this laptop, and that's not a very well optimized game, so the graphics settings were lower, like the graphics quality was lower than Forza Horizon 4, but the laptop was running hotter and also running louder. But yeah, it's a pretty good gaming experience, I have to say. It's definitely better than it has any right to be, being such a lightweight sort of tablet. And as you can see, the load times are pretty horrendous off the SD card, so definitely an external SSD would be the best choice if you want to play a lot of games on here. By the way, this only works with the tablet plugged into the base. Once you're just running the tablet itself, it's running on its integrated GPU, so that's pretty bad as far as that goes. But I'll just show some of the performance here if anyone's interested, because like I said, it's actually, if you really want a tablet but you still want to play games, this can do it, and it's quite respectable as well. Microsoft even, like I said, has added some gaming features like the Xbox One controller support. So it's obvious that Microsoft kind of aiming this more at professionals, but if you, for example, a student and you want this kind of laptop, then it's definitely pretty cool that you can still play games on here. By the way, the 13.5 inch version comes with either just the Intel Iris Plus graphics, which are no good for gaming at all, or it comes with a GTX 1650 in the base. That should be somewhat comparable to this, but I think it's a little bit down on power compared to the 15 inch. Plus, the 13.5 inch version doesn't have a CPU fan, so definitely you're going to be hitting a bit more into that CPU limited scenario. I do find that Forza Horizon can keep the CPU at 100% all the time, or at least most of the time, but it doesn't seem to be affecting frame rates. So yeah, so just take a little cruise here in Forza Horizon. We'll see how the frame rates go, and then afterwards we'll see how the GPU temperature fared. The CPU is basically going to hit 100 degrees no matter what, so just have to live with it. And it can get quite noisy, but it's definitely within what you'd expect of a gaming laptop, to be honest. So let's just start here on Forza Horizon 4. Alright, so just getting back to my Forza Horizon little showcase here. I've been playing this for a little while and let the GPU get up to temperature a little bit. You can probably hear the fan a little bit, but if you're playing a game at sort of normal volume on speakers or using a headset, you're not going to hear any sort of noise. And yeah, the graphical quality here is really good. Ultra settings, 1920 by 1200. It will play this game at native resolution with ultra settings, but frame rate's pretty bad. Kind of, it will run sort of 25-30 FPS in my experience. But so yeah, but with a screen this big, 1920 by 1200 is plenty. It's fine. Yeah, so just going to start a screen cap so we can show the quality in the video as well. So just going to start a screen cap using Nvidia Shadow Play. So just start a recording so we can compare the quality afterwards in the video. So just go for a little cruise here in Forza Horizon. Considering this is kind of a laptop which is not really meant for this sort of thing. Don't know if you can really call it an ultrabook, but it's definitely oriented more at professionals. The fact that you can play video games at this quality and you're getting consistently over 60 FPS, about 65 to 70% GPU use, I mean, that's just unbelievable to me. And you know, for me, I didn't want a big noisy gaming laptop that's gonna only make it maybe 2 or 3 hours on battery. You know, and this gets, for me, 8 to 10 hours, no problem. Now, obviously, when playing games, you're gonna be plugged in, and you want to stay plugged in because the battery life just won't be what you're expecting. But yeah, I mean, as a sort of non-gaming laptop, it does do very well, and the fact that it has its own GPU cooler is really a big advantage in my experience. I wish more laptop manufacturers would do separate CPU and GPU coolers. A lot of gaming laptops are still using combined heat pipe and heatsink for both GPU and CPU. So definitely, as you can hear now, the GPU is ramping up a little bit, and you can probably hear the fan. It's probably in line with what most sort of 15 or 17 inch gaming laptops would be. Maybe on some laptops can get even louder than this, but yeah, it's definitely noticeable. But I've got the audio going through a speaker right now, and if I really start playing the game, you really can't hear the fan that much. And definitely if you're using any kind of headset or headphones, you're not going to hear the fan at all. I find that most of the noise is actually coming from the bass, so from the GPU, rather than the CPU, rather than the tablet with the CPU. But on the 15-inch, the CPU does have a fan. But yeah, basically in terms of gaming performance, it's pretty good. My only real issue with this laptop, as far as gaming is concerned, is the storage, and the fact that storage is so expensive to buy from Microsoft themselves. So you're going to be running this off an external drive most of the time. Definitely an external SSD would be the best option. But if you have a game that for some reason won't run off an external drive, then you're pretty much out of luck, because with this is the base model with 256 gigs of storage, and if you're installing 150 gig games on there, yeah, you're going to run out of storage pretty quickly. But as you can see, the graphical quality on this is pretty amazing. I mean, I think if you can get this laptop with a student discount or for a good price, this is a serious alternative to something like a Razer Blade 15. But yeah, but it's not going to be as good as the RTX 2060. The 1660 Ti can do RTX, does have well, it can run RTX on games which have support for it, but it's not going to be as good as a proper RTX card. But definitely if you're a student and you don't want a big gaming laptop, this is an alternative. Plus you get the tablet as well. So I find if you get this at a decent price, like student discount, or wait a year when it's discounted a little bit, and you're looking for something which is great build quality, great software experience, tablet, and can play games alongside, then I think that this is a pretty serious option. You know, give it a go. So that's that. I didn't see too many videos on YouTube doing gaming reviews of this laptop, so I thought I'd just give it a go and show that this can actually play games, and it's pretty good as well. As you can hear, this is the fan, the GPU fan at full blast, so it's definitely noticeable, but it's in line with what you expect of a gaming laptop for sure. And yeah, it's not too bad, but it's definitely quite noisy. So running Forza Horizon, the 1660 Ti GPU hit a maximum temperature of 73 on ultra settings at 1920 by 1200, and the CPU hit 100 degrees at 32.9 watts. So the GPU runs pretty cool because of the fan and heatsink in the base, and also I think it's power limited. I've seen it go as high as 84, but it can't go to the maximum of about what you'd expect in a desktop class card of about 95, let's say 85 to 95 degrees. It doesn't seem to hit those kind of temperatures.